Hey everybody, this is Jordan Smith with iProv here. Welcome to another edition of the iProv vlog. We're going to call it that for now. We've got Patrick Laughlin here with me, our COO with iProv. What's up, Pat?
What's up, Joe? Which side am I on today?
We're going to do this again. Every time I do it, Keith tells me it's wrong, so who knows. But
I got you.
You guys can see, Patrick's right next to me. If you're listening to this, I pointed the right direction.
Yeah.
So, hey, today we want to talk to you guys about something that's very specific and I think very timely, which is consistency in marketing. Pat, tell us a little bit about, what we're telling our clients and what we're recommending right now as far as consistency in your marketing and messaging.
Well, a lot of what we're hearing right now is, hey, I really want to pause everything. Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty, and we're hearing, hey, let's just stop altogether. Let's go completely dark. But man, when the world opens back up again, we're just going to go hard. What's interesting about that is I shared a video that I saw over the weekend with our leadership team, and it was a guy talking about how he works out, and he talks about there are guys that go 110% every time they go to the gym, but the problem with that is when you go 110% at the gym, you don't nearly go to the gym as often. Because for days after you're hurting, and he advised, do 70 or 80% of your max, come home, feeling like you did something, but not so worn out that you can't go back the next day. And that's sort of a universal principle, and it definitely applies to marketing. There's a lot of uncertainty. Yes, there are lots of good reasons not to spend money on marketing right now, but now really more than ever is when you need to be really consistent just to hang on to what you got. Yeah. Jordan uses this great analogy, and I'm going to butcher it, Jordan, but if you don't call your friends and family very often, they're eventually going to forget about you. And those are the people that love you most. I don't care who you are. Unless you're Coca-Cola, your customers don't like you that much. Yeah. They will definitely forget about you if they don't hear from you with some sort of consistency.
Yeah, and also, kind of taking this analogy of runway and fuel, you got to be consistent, but it doesn't, if you're hurting right now, it doesn't mean that you've got to spend the same amount that you did last month. It just means you can't go dark completely. Yeah. So you've got to have enough runway, thinking long-term as far as when you want to get there, and enough fuel to get there. So make sure you're not breaking the bank and just spending everything in the next 2 months, but also don't hold off on everything and think that all your problems are going to be solved in July or August whenever you turn your advertising or your marketing back on. Right, Pat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for folks that have watched previous episodes, we've talked about this. Right now, with as many people that are off of a lot of these digital platforms and that aren't advertising consistently, now is the time to get out there because it's so inexpensive. Now's the time where your dollar lasts so much longer. And the second that the lights turn back on and the world goes back to normal, everybody is going to be advertising again. It will be so noisy, there is no way to stand out. And so now is a great time to sort of get out there and get some sort of message out.
Yeah, and be a little bit creative about that too. I know we just posted something not too long ago about some different ways to be creative and rethinking your messaging and branding standards. But consistency is the key. The analogy that Pat talked about earlier with working out, it's think about reps over a certain amount of time, not just how many reps you can do that one day or 1 week or 1 month in marketing. Think about that runway, right? Going back to vision, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before, and we're going to talk more about it. What is that end goal? When do you hope to get there? And what can you do to keep making sure that there's some sort of progress? Not, if you just pause it, you're just stopping your progress. So we're not saying spend a bunch. We're not saying don't cut back. We're just saying continue some sort of consistency, or you're going to lose all those gains that you've worked so hard up to this point to acquire.
Absolutely. It's really hard to get customers back when it's gone, but it's not hard to lose them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that really is the key to everything is, being consistent and sort of setting reasonable goals or expectations for what you can get done.
Yeah.
And then sort of going from there. I don't think that, you have to set the world on fire. I don't think that people are even looking for that right now.
No.
But I do think that being out there, having a voice, having a presence is important.
And we're shooting this late in the afternoon, so my mind's on one thing specifically, but I'll use an analogy that I've heard Pat say before, which is, how do you make a cake? It's a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. You can't ramp that cake up to 500 degrees and expect it to be done in 15 minutes. This is the same way. Just be consistency about the heat that you're putting into your marketing efforts. And yeah, it might be hard right now, and we understand that. But over time, you're gonna see those best practices still play out no matter what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. That's how you get the dough to rise, Joe.
Ooh, I like that. All right, dough to rise, cake. I gotta go eat. Pat, thanks so much, everybody. If you have topics or questions, I know we're putting surveys on some of these and some polls. Fill these things out. Share with your friends. Tell us if there's certain topics you want to hear. We're doing this for you, and we're trying to put out good information. So let us know if there's topics you want to hear about.
See you, Joe.
All right, until next time, iProv vlog out. Yeah.